Hi everyone, I'm Nigel Gordyke. I'm one of the organisers of the Wilmot Terry Fox Run, and it's my tremendous honour today to be speaking with Terry's older brother, Fred Fox. Hi Fred, how are you?
I'm doing great, Nigel. Great to see you again, virtually.
You visit a lot of schools throughout the year, and obviously not this year, but what is the message that you share with young students?
Yeah, it's been a different year. I had a school tour planned for April and May of this year, and of course it had to get canceled. But obviously we shared Terry's story, and I created a PowerPoint presentation a number of years ago, sharing photos of Terry and I growing up from Terry from a very young age to during the Marathon of Hope. And I would say the prominent message is Terry was just an average, ordinary kid. Growing up with Terry, we saw that Terry had to work harder than anybody else his age, whether it was in elementary school and then on to high school, as he was playing basketball and other sports. And he wasn't the biggest, fastest. He would even say he wasn't the best student in class. But so the message is always Terry was an average, ordinary kid, had to work hard for everything he had. And Terry is a great example to students today that anything is possible if you try, if you put the work in.
The run was very low key when it started in St. John's. When did you become aware that this was something special, that something special was happening, that the run was capturing the imagination of Canadians?
Yeah, when we sent Terry and Doug off, leaving the Vancouver airport on April 7th, and they made their way to Newfoundland, and before starting on April 12th, we had no idea. I had no idea what the impact that Terry would have, and watched what was going on in the Marathon of Hope early on in the Maritime Province, Newfoundland and the Maritime Provinces, and watching the 6 o'clock news every night and wanting to know where Terry was. Terry sent a couple of postcards early on, and it really came to me almost 40 years ago today, July 11th, when Terry arrived in Toronto. Mom and Dad and Judy and I were able to get to Toronto to see the arrival of Terry, Doug, and Daryl and the Marathon of Hope team. And that's when it really impacted me, and I really saw the success of the Terry Fox Run. I saw it personally. It's the first time I actually ever saw Terry run. I wasn't living at home when Terry was training here locally before he left for Newfoundland, and that's when it really struck me that holy cow, Terry is look at the thousands of people lining the streets here, and Terry is really having an impact, and what he wanted to do and inspiring other people and raising money for cancer research. Most importantly, Terry was doing that.
I mean, it's the 40th anniversary of the run this year. After you realized that, okay, it was special while it was happening, did it ever occur to you that 40 years later we'd still be honoring Terry?
No, again, I don't think anybody could have imagined that. Terry came home after being forced to stop his run in Thunder Bay, and tried to get healthier and was given different treatment to make him better, but that didn't happen. We lost Terry 39 years ago, and the very first Terry Fox runs happened a few months later in September of 1981, and we could never have imagined that here we would be 40 years ago. In fact, people would tell Mom and Dad that the run would last 3, 4, maybe 5 years max. But it's because of Canadians, it's because of people around the world, people inspired by Terry, because of Terry, because of Terry's honesty and integrity that people saw when he was running across Canada, that people have kept this going. People like yourself, Nigel and Cheryl, who organized the run in Wilmot. It's because of so many people, volunteers across Canada, around the world, have kept this going. We could never ever have imagined, and but Terry inspires so many people, and we've all been touched by cancer as well, so in some way, and it's why it's kept going the way it has.
I mean, as part of the 40th anniversary celebrations, there's the gear that Adidas is bringing out, including the replica of Terry's Orion shoes. with the first batch? I know that you missed out. How did you do with the second time round?
Yeah. In hindsight, it doesn't matter whether I did get a pair of shoes, and I tried to get a pair of shoes, a couple of weeks ago or whenever it was, on July 1st, actually Canada Day, and that's okay. I got a couple of T-shirts, and they haven't arrived yet, but Adidas has been amazing. Of course, when Terry was preparing for the Marathon of Hope, he wrote a letter to lots of different businesses, sharing why he was running and why it was important, and was looking for a company to donate shoes, and Adidas came to Terry and offered that up, and Terry wore those Orion shoes when he was running the Marathon of Hope, and Adidas has been awesome. In 2005, for the 25th anniversary, they created Terry's shoe, and then now this year for the 40th anniversary, and it's been a huge success. And Adidas is a wonderful company to work with. Michael Rossi, the president of Adidas Canada, is on our board of directors for the Terry Fox Foundation, and they've been working with our family, and they've done everything that we've asked of them. And so we're looking forward to the next launch on July 11th, where they're going to be launching a couple more T-shirts, and it's been amazing. Just seeing the technology that Terry was wearing back in 1980 compared to what we run with today, and the technology, how it's changed in 40 years.
Well, I remember, I think it was Martha told me, Martha McClue, the Ontario director of the Terry Fox Foundation, she mentioned that after you put out the video of you missing out, mentioning that you missed out on the shoes, that actually members of the public actually offered you their shoes that they managed to get hold of.
Yeah, and that's Terry Foxers. Those are Terry Fox fans, and it's amazing. And Canadians are amazing. And we did get quite a number of offers, and of course, we appreciated that very much. But we're glad that other people were able to get those shoes. I've got a pair from 2005, the 25th anniversary, and I'm happy with that. And I'm glad that other people can get a pair of shoes. I had a great opportunity a week and a half ago to deliver a pair of shoes to a fellow, a Terry Fox Run participant in Chilliwack, BC, not far from where I live here in Maple Ridge. And I had the opportunity to deliver his shoes to him because he won a raffle to get those shoes. And it was awesome, and to meet somebody who participates every year. And so I'm glad, and hopefully people get an opportunity over the summer into November to get another pair of shoes or maybe a T-shirt along the way.
Well, I noticed that after your video went out saying that you didn't get the shoes, that your younger brother Daryl put his video up holding up the shoes. I'm take it he didn't offer you his.
No, no, he didn't, and that's okay too. So no, he didn't, and I think one of my daughters as well got a pair of shoes, and that's good. It's a random draw, and that's how we do things with the Terry Fox Runs, the Terry Fox Foundation. It's everybody has an equal opportunity. It doesn't matter who you're related to. Everybody gets an equal chance.
That is one of the great things about the organization, how egalitarian it is. Final question for me. Things are very different this year. How will you be taking part in the run on September 20th?
I will be probably get out there with my family, our personal bubble, and getting out there and doing our run. We haven't decided run walk. We haven't decided where we're going to do it, whether we're going to gather where we normally gather every year. Do our Terry Fox Run for Maple Ridge and Pitt Meadows. We haven't decided that, or we're going to gather somewhere else with our kids and our close knit friends. We haven't quite decided, but we're looking forward to that. We're also personally on August 15th doing. We've always done Mount Terry Fox Trek, which we've done every year, and this year that's not going to happen physically as either, but we're going to do that virtually. And so looking forward to the 15th and doing August 15th, doing some fundraising for the virtual Mount Terry Fox Trek, and climbing one of the local mountains here in the Vancouver area as well.
Okay, I'm afraid that's all the easy questions for you today. A young friend of mine, Sabrina Hallman, age 12, from Dundee, she sent me some questions that she'd like me to put to you, if that's okay.
All right. Yeah. Awesome.
Okay. Was it scary when you learned that your brother had cancer, and double barrel question, and that he was going to run the Marathon of Hope?
You know, when Terry was diagnosed in 1977, he was 18, I was 19, and I can honestly say that neither one of us really knew much about cancer. People, back in 1977 and before that, not very many people talked about cancer. We didn't really know how serious it was, and once we heard that Terry was going to lose his leg because of osteogenic sarcoma, of course we were afraid for Terry, but I must say Terry was probably the strongest one in our family. He had the right attitude and all of that. When Terry decided to run across Canada, I kind of had the idea that's awesome, Terry. Again, I wasn't living at home when he made the announcement that he was going to do that, and I hadn't seen all of the training he had put in, but I'd played sports with Terry, and he was a hard worker. He was committed, and if he said he was going to do something, he was going to do it. And it was a surprise that he decided that's what he was going to do, because we all thought that he was running and training because he was going to run the Vancouver Marathon. But he came to mom first, and then dad, and let them know what he's doing. And we were very supportive of that. And I kind of said to Terry, well, that's awesome. Good luck. We'll see you when you get back home. Not really knowing, as I said earlier, what to expect from the Marathon of Hope.
Second question from Sabrina. Do you know what has changed with the kind of cancer that Terry had because of all the money that has been raised in his name?
Yeah, Terry's type of cancer is one of those things that have seen huge improvements. Osteogenic sarcoma. Terry was diagnosed with that, of course, in 1977, lost his right leg. And today, and Terry, I think back then was told that he had a maybe 40 to 50% chance of surviving his diagnosis. Today, that survival rate is, I believe, in the mid to low 80% survival rate. And in many cases, because of the research and all of that and the monies that's been raised the past 40 years, in many cases, an individual with that kind of cancer doesn't have to lose their arm or their leg or whatever the cancer has been found. So huge advances have been made in all kinds of cancers over 40 years because of what Terry did in 1980.
Okay, third question from Sabrina. This is the last one. I think this is a great one considering all the traveling that you do as part of the Terry Fox Foundation now. If you could show Terry one place in Canada, where would it be?
Wow. Huh. I know, geez, that's a good one, because it's been one of the joys. I'm a big fan of Newfoundland, and I've been there many, many times. I've been to the north, all the 3 territories as well. But Terry had an opportunity to be in Newfoundland, running up from St. John's up the Trans-Canada Highway to Port aux Basques. But yeah, different parts of Newfoundland, Burgeo and Grey River, Ramia, where I've been on the coast there. It's beautiful. The people are awesome, and like they are all across Canada. But that's Newfoundland is a very special place, and that's where Terry started his Marathon of Hope. And Terry loved Newfoundlanders because although they didn't know in the beginning what he was doing, they were there to support him along the way.
Actually, the correct answer was Wilmot, but we'll let that go.
Oh, sorry. What did I say?
Thank you.
Yeah. I was going to say that. I was going to say, yeah, I love the cornfields in Wilmot.
Oh, there you go. You've redeemed yourself. Thank you so much, Fred. We appreciate how busy you are, and we really do appreciate you spending time with us today. Thank you.
Well, and thank you, Nigel. It's a different year, and I think we're busier than we ever normally are at this time of year, the foundation and what we're doing, and trying to keep Terry's name and the Terry Fox Run out there. And I know it's going to be a successful year because of all the support from volunteers like yourself. So thank you.